Hello everyone, this is Neha Sharma. Today in this video, we are going to do objects. So this is actually a topic in your chapter number 1 of grammar book. The name of the chapter is sentences and phrases. So here, let's talk about objects. So dear students, what is the objects? Let's understand this with the help of the examples. First, I have written here 2-3 sentences. Let's see. He writes. So I will ask you, is this a complete sentence? He writes. So what is your answer? That is yes. He is subject and writes is a verb, and this is giving a sense, but it is not giving a complete sentence, the sense that what he writes. He may write a novel, he may write a story, anything, right? So what is the object actually? When you will look at the second sentence, he writes a story. Now this we get to know that he is writing a story or he writes a story. The object is there, okay, in second sentence, but in first sentence there is no object. Clear? So what is the definition of this object? Let's see. When the verb in the predicate is a transitive verb, it requires an object to complete its sense, right? In first sentence there is no object, and in second sentence there is object. Okay. Second sentence, they play. They play. This is subject, this is verb, right? This is a sentence but not having object. They play football. So this is a sentence where there is transitive verb, okay? As we have done in this definition, that this verb he writes, that is intransitive verb, because this is not having an object. But this sentence, he writes a story, this verb is transitive verb, because here we have one object. Same case here, they play. So this play becomes intransitive verb because this is not having object. But this they play football, this play is transitive verb because there is object, that is football. So what you have understood here, that a verb which is having an object is transitive verb, and the verb which is not having an object after that, that is intransitive verb, right? So this is all about objects. I want to tell you one more thing, that there should be something after the verb. Every time that something will not the object. In some cases that will be complement also. Suppose he writes neatly. So neatly is not object, okay? That is a complement. She walks fastly. So that fastly, that is not object, that is complement. Now we have two kinds of objects. Number one is direct object and second one is indirect object. But before that, I want to tell you where you will get this object in the sentence. Where you will get the object in the sentence, it is just after the verb. It is just after the verb. In a sentence, there may be both kinds of object, or it may happen there is one object, or it may happen there is no object. Okay, but when the case of transitive verbs would be there, so we will get one object at least. Clear? Now I'll tell you this object is of two types, direct object and indirect object. So this direct object is which one? The noun answering what, W-H-A-T, what, after the verb is called direct object. Clear? And indirect object, the person for whom something is done and ask for, who, from and whom after the object is known as indirect object. In simple language, you have to learn that direct objects are the things and indirect objects are the person after the verbs. Clear? the direct objects are the things and indirect objects are the persons. But there is also one problem, right? That is what? Every time it is not there that, you may say there is one exception, that direct objects, I've told you 90% cases for your standard you will get, direct objects are the things and indirect objects are the persons. But it may happen that in some cases, if both the objects are things, clear, then what will happen? Then how you have to recognize that the receiver who receives, who gets something, is indirect object. Okay, the receiver is indirect object. Very first thing you have to learn, the persons are indirect objects. But if every time the persons are not given, suppose you just hit the door, clear? So I gave a punch to the door, right? So punch and door, person is not there. So this is what the receiver is, who? Door, right? So that is what? Indirect object, clear? Door. And here the direct objects are the things what we give. Suppose, but let's understand the direct object and indirect object with the help of example first, and then I will give you the exception case. The teacher gave a chocolate to me. Okay, I've told you this object is where? Just after the verb. You cannot get this object before the verb, clear? So the teacher gave a chocolate to me. So the very first task is to get the verb. Which is verb here? The teacher gave. Gave is a verb. Now what is after that? A chocolate and me. Now this chocolate and me, I've told you the things are the direct objects and the persons or the receivers are indirect objects. Okay, the things are direct objects. So the teacher gave me chocolate, and chocolate is a thing. So what is direct object here? This chocolate is direct object. I'm writing DO for that. And who is receiver? Who is getting? Me. Me is what? Person. So that is what? Who is receiving that? This is indirect object. Right? This is indirect object. Second sentence is, I bought a watch for my brother. I bought a watch for my brother. So I is subject, bought is verb, a watch for my brother. Now this is verb, a watch. It's a thing. It is a thing. And what is the who is the person here for whom I bought watch? Because here for whom, for, from, this we have to answer. So this my brother is what here? That is person. Thing is what? Which one? This. So this is what? Direct object. And person or the receiver is my brother. So this is what? Indirect object. So dear students, you have learnt here about the objects. So once again, direct object. First of all, the position of object in the sentence, that is after the verb. Clear? Then a verb which is having object, that is known as transitive verb, and a verb which is not having object, that is called intransitive verb. Next thing we have learnt, objects are of two types, direct objects and indirect objects. So the direct objects are the things and indirect objects are the persons or receivers, right? And that we have understood with the help of examples. Suppose my mother gave me a toffee. So, or not me, you can do him. Okay, my mother gave him my dress. You just take this example. My mother gave him my dress. So him is what? Who? Person. So he get what? My dress. So my dress is what? Thing, right? So thing is direct object, and him, who get that? Him is receiver, that is indirect object. Now when we were talking about the exception, why I have told you this receiver? Suppose he gave a blow to the door, right? Now gave is verb, blow is a thing, I mean, what is it? Something, no? And the door is a receiver. When I blow the door is receiver, and a blow is what here? Thing. So direct object is blow and the door is receiver, so that will be indirect objects. So dear students, this is all about objects. Now let's understand this with the help of some more examples. But before that, take the screenshot of this, note down this, and learn for your examination. Now let's see some of the example to understand these direct objects and indirect objects. First sentence I have written you, please buy me a pen, right? Please buy me a pen. So this buy is what? Buy is verb, because object will be after the verb. So this buy is verb. Now we have to see, and it is not compulsory every time that there will be both kind of objects. Only one can be there. So me and a pen. As we discussed earlier, the direct objects are the things, or indirect objects are the receivers and the persons. Okay, so this me is what? He received, buy me a pen. When someone will buy a pen, so you will receive that, because this is what? Please buy me a pen. Suppose you are saying to your mother, please buy me a pen. So who will receive the pen? Who will receive the pen? You will receive the pen. So me is what? Receiver here. So that receiver is what? Indirect object. And what you will receive there? What is the thing which you will receive? That is the pen. So this is direct object. Right? It's quite easy to get. The teacher told them a story. Now the teacher is subject, right? This is not object. Told is verb. Them and story. Now them, it is what? And a story, it is what? We have to see. Now the thing is what? Them, a story. Them is receiver. They will listen the story when the teacher will tell. So that is what? When the teacher told the story, them is receiver. So that is what? Indirect object. And what they get, that is the story. So that is what? Direct object. Right? I have a pencil box. I have a pencil box. Now I is subject, have is the main verb here, helping verb actually, but it is acting as a main verb, right? So I have, it is showing the position, so that is working as a verb here. A pencil box. Now a pencil box is what? It's a thing only. So it means this sentence does not have both kind of objects. This is clear. Now pencil box is what? That is thing. So things are which kind of objects? Direct object, or you may write down the thing, the object only. So this is direct object. He taught Rita history. He taught Rita history. So he is subject, taught is verb, Rita and history. Who received history when teacher will tell, or he will tell, he will teach. So that is what? Rita. Rita is a receiver here, and the receivers are indirect objects, or the persons are to indirect objects, and history is a thing. So that is what? That is direct objects. So dear students, it's quite easy actually to find out that, but the concept should be clear. Actually this grammar is as difficult, or you may say that is more difficult than your mathematics or your science concepts. So that should, the concepts and the topic should be clear to you, and that will be if you will practice regularly and you will listen to the videos and the lectures carefully. Thank you very much. Take the screenshots, try to do exercises related to this. Stay safe, stay healthy.